stands 2 inches taller than the Australian as well. And there's that weight miss, 140.6 for Sorenson. On point was Jessie Jess at 136 even. For our official introductions, here's Ray Flores.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, 3 rounds in the Invicta FC Bantamweight division. Introducing first, fighting to my right. Out of the blue corner, she's a Muay Thai and a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter, standing 5 feet 6 inches tall, official weight 140.6 pounds. Her record in 5 bouts, 4 wins, opposite 1 defeat, fighting out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pam Bam Sorenson. And her opponent fighting to my left. Out of the red corner, she is a kangaroo boxer, standing 5 feet 4 inches tall, official weight 136 pounds. A record 6 wins against 2 defeats, fighting out of Innisfil, Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jessica Rose, Jessie Jess Clark. And your referee in charge, Mike England.
Bantamweight's in the cage, officially a catchweight contest. It is Jessica Rose Clark taking on Pam Bam Sorenson.
You ready, ma'am? You ready, fighter? Let's go.
TJ DeSantis, Julie Kedzie, Scottish Rite Temple, Kansas City, Missouri, Invicta FC 20. Jessie Jess in the pink. Sorenson in the black.
Ooh, nice shot by Sorenson right there.
Enjoy live and exclusive events, original programming, and the largest MMA library on UFC Fight Pass. Download the UFC.tv app today, anytime, anywhere. It is your pass to the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Nice knee to the body there as Jessie just stood up from an attempted takedown by Sorenson.
Yeah, that was a really well-executed takedown that Jessie just rolled through, used the momentum of to get right back up. It was very nicely done.
Sorenson has 1 underhook. Jessie just trying to push her up into the fence here, reverse the position. Again, still in this over-under position. We'll see what Sorenson wants to do.
And she strikes me as somebody who kind of bullies her way in there and then, you know, drags her opponents to the mat. Jessie Jess has got to keep her hips from being pinned on that cage, but also from being entirely too perpendicular. She can get spun off like that. She's doing a nice job of defending, staying very, very calm.
And credit to Clark. Sorenson trying to throw her down to the floor. Now Clark trying to get a takedown of her own. She pushes Sorenson up against the fence.
And look at the way Sorenson is pushing on Jessie Jess's head like that. It's hard to keep your hips underneath you when somebody is cranking your chin away.
Now the Aussie, I believe, has double underhooks. Now she's controlling the rhythm of this grappling up against the fence. Trying to sweep the leg out is Clark. This is the type of grinding fight that Sorenson probably doesn't want to be in if her cardio may be at risk due to the tough weight cut. This is hard for both of these ladies up against the fence when they're on the fence or, you know, standing at space pushing their opponent into the fence.
Very hard. And you can see that Jessie Jess has double underhooks right there. Sorenson's trying to crank her head away to get to a better position. Double underhooks is a fantastic position to be in a fight, especially for takedowns. You can see Sorenson was aware of that. She made an adjustment with her hips, and now she has an underhook.
Got fans all over the world tonight, checking in from South Africa. Appreciate you watching, Carrie. Appreciate liking our commentary, too. I like compliments. She's Julie Kedzie. I'm TJ DeSantis. Halfway point here between these two bantamweights. Round number 1.
You know, it's lacking the high, intense pace that the fight before us had. There's a lot of technical stuff happening with these takedowns and these get-ups. Jessie using her overhook to reverse, get back to her feet. Really composed. Very nice wrestling.
Nicely done, wrestling in reverse there for the Aussie.
Sorenson's pressure it's got to be exhausting right now. You know, she's moving from underhooks to overhooks, trying to trip, trying to drag Jessie down, and keeping her pinned up against the fence.
Fingers in the eyes. Watch fingers in the eyes.
That's not a comfortable position to be in.
Now we see the double underhook position here for Sorenson. Sorenson's really been in control in this clinch. She also pressures the head, maybe trying to set up a knee.
Yeah, she has been doing a good job. She's pulling on the head.
Come on,
She's
you gotta
trying
work
to
some.
trip. She's trying to bully. She's pushing around. And it seems that Jessie Rose Clark is extremely prepared for that. Nice elbow there.
Now back at space. Clark was talking about her approach. She said that I want to win this fight in the second round. She's got a lot of goals in mixed martial arts. That's even putting time in the cage.
Well, that's an admirable thing to do. You know, my career was always get a win at all costs, but that didn't always pan out for me. So hopefully her predictive nature of her fighting is gonna work for her future.
She talked about her first time out here at Invicta against Pannie Kianzad. Said she just didn't fight at all the way she wanted to. She's gone through a lot of changes, both personally and professionally. Hand speed on display there
yeah,
by
I was
Clark.
going to say that's a very quick uppercut that she threw, just shy of hitting. Both are standing in front of each other, kind of, I don't want to say in a solid way, but they're not super mobile right now. It'd be nice to see a little bit more motion.
Nice left hand gets through by Clark. Final 20 seconds here of round number 1. Join us after this fight. Got 2 special guests coming cage side. Information coming up on Invicta FC 21 in early 2017, so stick around for that. Clark comes high with a kick. Sorenson evades.
Time. Good job.
5 minutes in the books between these bantamweights. Sorenson and Clark doing work. Julie, how do you look at that first 5 minutes of action?
I look at that as a feeling out process from both fighters. I think they both tested each other's strength, especially in the clinch positions. I would like to see both corners tell them for more action when it comes to lateral movement, fakes and feints, and actually flurries of attacks. They both seem to just want to stand in front of each other, which could be kangaroo boxing, you know, in a way, but I would like to see more movement from them. It seems as though Sorenson's punches hurt, and she's able to push backwards, and her pressure on the cage is very strong. Jessie Jess is able to use that overhook. She's doing a really nice job of defending, getting back to her feet with that, but better not to go to the ground and just engage in the striking, I think.
We talked about the missed weight for Sorenson, and we talked about how it's very high. It was, you know, over 5 pounds. I wonder when she made the decision that she wasn't going to make weight and said, you know what, I'm just going to accept this, and maybe that was better. We'll see if it plays into a factor here as this fight goes on later.
I don't like those decisions.
You want to be a professional as always, and Pam Sorenson was unable to make that weight, but now she is in round number 2 against Jessica Rose Clark.
See a little bit more movement here coming into the round by both fighters. Sorenson's light on her feet, throwing that fake jab. Again, some of her punches at the beginning of the first round looked very sharp, very hard. I'd like to see her do that some more.
Nice jab right down the middle there, lands for Clark. Sorenson comes forward, initiates the clinch. Now Clark pushing her up against the fence. Nice little short elbow by Sorenson.
Yeah, it's hard to fight. It's hard to execute strikes when you're pushing, or you're being pushed backwards like that. That was well timed.
See Clark putting on the pressure here. Double unders again for the Aussie. Now trying to get that trip takedown. This time she gets it. She was unable to do so in round number 1, but now she's in the closed guard of Sorenson.
That was nicely done. I'm wondering if this is where Clark wants this fight to be the whole time. She's grinding forward on her, putting pressure on her, keeping her pinned against the cage. You can see Sorenson has a triangle lock on the body, which really doesn't do very much except squeeze hard and keep somebody from launching hard strikes.
Looks like she's trying to break off her Kimura here, Julie.
Oh, I can't see that angle.
Now she's bailed on it. Clark a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, Sorenson a purple belt.
Oh, that was a mistake by Clark right there, the way she went up like that.
Sorenson's got some space, bellying down on this armbar, but look at Clark.
Good defense there by Clark. She's got to get that elbow out, though. She's still, her butt's up and her head's down. That's not great defense when an armbar is in there. She also needs to keep Sorenson stacked. Sorenson, I think, trying to push it to a triangle. I'm not really sure right there.
She grabs the leg going for the armbar.
Oh,
now she might have it. Jessica Clark needs to make sure that she doesn't extend the arm. Sorenson hanging tough.
Yeah, I feel like Sorenson kind of let go of that armbar a bit too quickly. I think she could have really, she had that thing in deep. I think she just needs to make a slight adjustment. She's got her in, oh, well,
Oh, nice elbows
I see.
there.
She's throwing elbows from the top, so it's almost a triangle position. Real high guard with both of Jessie Jess's hands in, and she's trying to execute strikes from that position. Jessie Jess very rightly staying tight, trying to defend it. I would try to get her stacked up just a little bit, or keep the pressure on her a little bit more if I were Jessie Jess. Nice wrap of the leg right there from Sorenson.
A lot of time still here to work. The corner of Clark telling her to be patient, not to do anything foolish. You can't just try to rip yourself out of there. If you do so, that's when you leave a limb behind and get your arm broken.
It's true. And again, her positioning is ill-advised right there, but she seems to not be in too much trouble just yet.
Nicely done by Clark.
Yeah.
She frees her head. Now she's got that fence there. What should Clark do? Should she try to smash Sorenson up against the fence and land ground and pound? Because Sorenson could turn that into a wall walk instead.
She could. It depends on how comfortable a fighter is using the fence. I would always like to see them for ground and pound, pull them away from the fence to get some strong strikes in there. That does open you up for more submissions.
Come on, you got to work something there.
It frees the momentum for strikes just a bit better.
Clark tried to get a slam there. Sorenson wisely flowered in, grabbed that leg, stopped it. Now working that armbar again, but Clark definitely stacked up here trying to...
Clark's freeing her elbow pretty well. It looks like she's out of the armbar.
Credit to Sorenson. She's been on her back for a lot of this round, and she's been the offensive one.
She has. She's done a great job climbing her legs, changing the angles, changing the attack. Jessica's been defending the whole time, which is not... That doesn't necessarily win you points. So even though she's doing a great job of defending, she's giving up those angles just like that.
Sorenson in business with his armbar again, but Clark has defended this thus far. 1 minute remains. Clark can use his fence to defend as well. Can she not kind of add the pressure there, keep it?
She can, and she can also keep the motion from she can keep Sorenson's motion from being able to sweep her by using the cage kind of as a third arm. Oh.
Clark able to get free. She's had enough of that ground game. She goes back to space. Sorenson follows her to the feet.
How would you score ground game if the person on their back is more offensive? Nice shot. But they gave up the takedown.
To me, it comes down to effective grappling. That's one of the criteria. If you are doing the effective grappling even from bottom, that criteria goes to you.
That makes a lot of sense, but isn't the most effective grappling when you tap someone?
Striking, grappling, aggression, and cage control.
It's hard to know. I would like to pick the judges' brains after this one and just see where they're going in their scoring for this fight.
This combination there, Sorenson ate a pretty stiff left hand from Clark.
Time! Good job.
10 minutes in the books between these bantamweights. Going back to your question, I feel that it was Sorenson working the better ground game here, Julie. She was very offensive, and she almost had something, but Clark was wise.
I think so too. I think Sorenson actually had that on the ground. She was continually attacking, going for things, changing her angles, throwing those elbows as well. Being able to throw multiple attacks on the ground, I would say, is a very aggressive way to win a round.
If you're Sorenson in the corner there, what are you hearing from your coaches? What is the game plan for this next round?
I feel like she needs to get Clark on her back. I think she did a great job of throwing offense off of her own back. And I think to cement this, combination of punches to put Clark on her back.
And if you're John Wood in the corner of Jessie Jess, what are you saying?
Keep your back off of the fence, lateral motion, throw those shots in there, but make sure you're aware of the fence the entire time. If you get clinched up, get those double underhooks, look for that trip again. I think you can still off-balance Sorenson.
A very important third and final round coming up between these bantamweights. It was Sorenson that was on bottom, but I think I would score that second round for her. We'll see what the judges say if we get that far, but Jessie Jess, Jessica Rose Clark, and Pam Sorenson trying to end it before we get to that final bell.
Last round.
There's a little bit of swelling on the forehead of Jessie Rose Clark right there. I don't see any visible damage on Sorenson as yet.
I think the swelling on the forehead there of Clark may have come from those elbows, hard elbows with the point of the elbow on the floor by Sorenson.
It does feel like Jessie Jess has been holding back just a little bit with her punches and her attack.
Oh, hard left hand
nice.
gets through there by Pam Bam Sorenson.
That's exactly what she needs to do. Throw those attacks, get in there, and get Clark on her back.
You saw Jessie Jess immediately throw hands too. He might have woken her up a little bit.
Sometimes you have to get punched in the face to know that you can punch back.
Tomorrow, UFCFightPass.com heads to Belfast, Northern Ireland. In the main event, Gegard Mousasi takes on Uriah Hall in a rematch that saw Hall beat Mousasi last year. It's live and exclusive on UFC Fight Pass, with the main card kicking off at 4 in the East. Sorenson firing off a combination of strikes there, eats a hard kick to the lead leg by Clark, and Clark also finished with a nice right hand to the body.
Yeah, Clark's got some really nice evasion techniques. She does a very nice job of defending, and once again, trying to defend with overhooks, grabbing over the head. This time, Sorenson is on her back. She's got that pressure on top of her. She's a little high on her. I feel like she could be off balanced still, and Jessie could go into her full guard if she moves correctly, but Sorenson is still on top, still in control.
Trying to readjust. Clark might go out the back door here. Sorenson very, very high. What would you like to see Clark do? Does she need to wiggle and try to escape her?
Out the back door, absolutely, but make sure she defends that arm as she goes, because Sorenson really made a grab for that.
Nice grappling exchange here, but it is Clark that wins the top position. When I say wins the top position, Sorenson largely dominated from the bottom.
High guard from Sorenson. Again, those elbows have been the most effective, I think, attacks on the ground for her in terms of racking up points. I think she should continue to do them. She's going for those arm bars. She's going for those positions quite well. A little bit of I think, a tripped attempt there.
Sorenson able to get back to her feet now.
But I think just what Jessie Rose Clark needs right now is a sense of urgency. She's just got it more than one shot at a time. She's getting really nice angles, but then she's just kind of stopping and waiting. I'm familiar with that kind of fighting. I had that problem in my career a lot. She really needs to pull the trigger, execute, get another takedown, and, work for that finish.
2 minutes remain here. These bantamweights throwing down inside the Invicta FC cage. Still a very calculated approach in the final moments of this fight. Clark tried to counter with that straight right hand. Knee to the body gets through by Jessie Jess. Now back in the clinch.
Yeah, maybe not the most exciting of fights we've seen tonight, but there's definitely been really good moments of exchanges and
technical moments.
Follow-throughs. Yeah, exactly.
A lot of things to appreciate. Sorenson tries to counter the kick with some punches. Left hand gets through. Nice Sorenson now, follows it up with a kick. Nice left gets through by Jessie Jess. One minute remains. Kick to the body, backs up Sorenson. Sorenson tries to throw a kick of her own.
I would like both these fighters to try and finish this fight right now. I think a lot of the circling and the clenching in the first 2 rounds, they have a sense of what the other can bring, but I think now they need to have confidence of what they can do.
Now we see a bit of a flurry, pick up in action. 15 seconds remaining. Back into the clinch. Sorenson tries to go for takedown. Able to get a nice little knee stuck through. Glanced Clark, but we're going to run out of time. 15 minutes in the books. Pam Sorenson, Jessie Clark. Interesting how the judges will score that. It might go back down to round number 2, how you really scored that round, looking at the offensive output from Sorenson while it was off her back. It was still, I think, the better of the offense that we saw of the round, maybe even of the fight, because that was the only time this fight was ever really close to getting stopped.
Right. Clark maintained her composure. She did a great job, especially defending some really tight-looking moments of submission or submission attempts, but really I don't know. Like, I think that Sorenson just kind of brought a stronger game tonight. She edged things out just quite a bit more, possibly with that extra strength that she's carrying into the cage right now. You know, a little bit more confidence.
It seemed like she were able to capitalize more than Clark was. And let's take a look at this left hand that got through by Jessica Rose Clark.
Yeah, and those moments when Jessica Rose Clark did that, she had the ability to really keep going, to really, especially with her motion. She had great lateral motion. I just feel like this is Sorenson's fight due to just the amount of attacks she actually executed.
We've seen some interesting looks from the judges earlier this evening. We'll see what they say after they tally their 10s and 9s. Maybe not exactly the debut that Pam Sorenson wanted by failing to make weight, but she did nice work inside the cage to crown our winner. Here's Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we go to the scorecards. Here are your score totals. Judge at cage side, Henry Guerri scores the bout 30-27 for Sorenson. Judge Ross Swanberg scores the bout 29-28 for Clark. And Judge Fernando Marquez has the bout 30-27 for your winner by split decision, Pam Bam Sorenson.
Split decision goes the way of Pam Bam Sorenson. She will speak with our Leslie Smith about her Invicta FC debut. That ends via decision victory.
I'm standing